Hi everyone, it's me, Lindsay, with EquipMeOT, here today to talk about handheld shower head installation, and more specifically, the Moen Verso handheld shower head. I love Moen products. I love handheld shower heads. They're a fantastic way to instantly improve the accessibility of your shower, whether it's for somebody who has a disability or just to make showering or cleaning your shower easier. So this particular product comes with the shower head, as well as the handheld component and a hose. One of the things and the features I absolutely adore about this is it has the Magnetix technology for its docking system. That means that you don't have to fish around to dock it. You just get it close and the magnet holds. It is so easy to use and so much more accessible. You could do it with your eyes closed. If you have dexterity or weakness, this is just so much easier. So let me show you just how easy this is to install. I started out by removing my old shower head. The old shower head was simply unscrewed, and then I cleaned up the threads up here because they had some old plumbing tape on them. The installation instructions for this one says plumbing tape is not necessary, so I went ahead and removed them. You want to double check with all of the different seals, which have the little black seal inside. There's one here, and then in the hose, they have two that you have to install yourself, which are inside these little ends. So once those black seals are put in, that's basically all of the off the water supply installation you'll have to do. They do recommend you have a little crescent wrench on hand just to tighten down all of the fixtures. So once this inlet is exposed, you can go ahead and loosen what they call the nut. It's kind of a collar, and all I'm going to do is loosen that, which then makes the attachment point free turning, which is really nice because a lot of installations, you actually have to turn the whole shower head to tighten it on. This one comes with this freewheeling little nut thing here. So that's really, really useful. I like that feature. All right, so that's loose. All we're gonna do now, and I have to use a step stool because I'm kind of short. But we're gonna step up here nice and carefully to my nicely cleaned off inlet here. And then I'm just gonna hand tighten this into position. Once it's hand tight, I can take and tighten that collar nut just to keep it from flopping around, and that little piece is what's going to be used to kind of get it into position. I'll tighten it even more when I'm done, but I'm going to grab my crescent wrench now and I'm going to go around it. There's two little flat spots that you can line your crescent wrench on. Take a sec to find because I can't quite see up here. There we go. I'm actually going to loosen this again. There we go. I got a little ahead of myself. You want that little nut to be loose actually so that you can tighten that head down. You don't want to over tighten any of these because you don't want to damage it. There we go. Now we're going to tighten that nut down. Just like that. And this has a lot of adjustability built in, which is nice so that you can get the head position just the way you want it. Like I said, our family, fairly short, so we can have this kind of pointed a little bit down, but you could also aim it up to kind of shoot farther out if you have some height. All right. Next piece you're gonna go for is the hose. One thing I like to mention is this has my favorite kind of hose. I really prefer handheld shower heads that come with a metal hose versus the plastic variety because the metal stays much more malleable and doesn't get rigid over time. So it's going to have a lot more bend to it, a lot easier to control for individuals who may have weakness or dexterity challenges. So always look for a metal hose, and always look for a hose that has some pretty substantial length on it. You want it to reach down and also all the way over to wherever an individual might be seated for their shower. So what we're going to do now is just find the little attachment, which is underneath up here, and I'm going to take this end, see, both ends are the same. So this end, and I'm going to attach it right like that. And this is another hand tighten. You're not going to tighten this with any tools. All right. Hand tight. And then this end attaches to this really cool handheld wand. Just a bunch of easy screw on. You can see how quickly I can do this. One of the cool things that they've added to this is you'll see this green plastic. This is recycled ocean plastic. So not only accessible, but sustainable. We love a brand that does that. All right, so you see, there we go. couple of minutes and I have this beautiful new shower head all installed. We're gonna test it out to make sure nothing is leaking. Now that everything's installed and we've checked it out, it's working great, I want to add one more feature, and I recommend this for any extended shower head hose so that you can reach it from a seated position. This is something that a lot of people forget, but it makes such a difference for accessibility. So I bought a secondary magnetic hub so that I can bring the handheld shower head down to me. Now, when you do this, I recommend having the seat in place and probably having the person who would be utilizing the handheld shower head in position so you know exactly where it is comfortable for them to reach and use the shower head. It's all about functionality and control. I love these little magnet ports. They have a 3M sticky on the back, but they also come with a screw kit. So if you wanted to screw it into position, you absolutely could. I find that these 3M stickies work really, really well, as long as where you decide to place it, you've thoroughly cleaned the wall, make sure there's no soap scum or residue left behind. You can use an alcohol wipe too to really get it clean. I cleaned this shower before we shot, and I'm just making sure I wipe off any water that's left behind. My preference is to have it directly in front of me, so I'm going ahead and peel off the sticky back to expose the sticky back, and I'm going to make sure that the label that says Magnetix is facing up. I think about here feels most comfortable to me, and I'm just going to set it in place and lock it in. Give it a good press. And I know some people who will add a little sealant around the edges if they really want to make sure it stays for a good long time so no water gets behind it. Because this is on a wall that doesn't typically get very wet during showers, it should be completely fine. Now we're going to take our handheld, and instead of having to reach way up here every time I want to bring it down, now I can keep it here. Ooh, still got water in it from testing it. This is the dangers of filming in the shower. But now I've got it in a nice convenient spot, so when I'm seated doing my bathing, I don't have to reach up here or have water hitting me if I don't want it there. So this can just kind of pour onto me, or I can use it from here. I can also control it, has different settings, and it has a really easy slide mechanism. So in general, I absolutely love this system. I think it makes such a difference for people to have access to this in their shower, and as you can see, super easy to install. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down below. If you need more information like this on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to EquipMeOT. Thank you.